other trade that happened with the receiver this week, which I think is probably the stupidest trade.
I already know what you're going to say.
Has happened so far. Bill O'Brien is literally just the most idiotic coach in the NFL. I think trading away probably the best receiver in the NFL under Julio Jones to the Arizona Cardinals for David Johnson. Everybody, David Johnson, an injury-prone running back who has not done anything in at least 3 years. Zach would know because he had him on his fantasy team, I think, right?
Yes, I did.
He did not do much.
I did.
Yeah, didn't he have like 3 weeks in a row with negative points or something? Or like 0 points?
Oh, yes, he did. He had, I think, like his season high was 4 or something.
Yeah.
Like
So DeAndre Hopkins is now an Arizona Cardinal with one of the greatest receivers of all time, Larry Fitzgerald, who is 40 years old and still running routes for Kyler Murray. I think Cliff Kingsbury, a surprising coach coming out of Texas Tech, has done a great job last year. They won some games they weren't expected to win. And now with DeAndre Hopkins, like Kyler Murray has more room to kind of be the quarterback that he wants to be, can run around in the pocket and just throw it up there and give it to DeAndre Hopkins because he can literally, his hands are huge. He can catch anything, just throw it up there and he can catch it.
Absolutely.
I'm excited to see the Cardinals next year. They're still in a pretty tough division, with the Rams and the 49ers. So it's going to be tough.
Kyler Murray has no excuse
he can do.
Well, Kyler Murray now, he has no excuses. Now he has one of the greatest. Now he's a Hall of Fame wide receiver, and he has one of the greatest receivers that I have ever watched. So having both of those, yeah, I know there's other factors that come into play for a quarterback, but he really can't say that he has no tools now. Now it's his offense to run. He's there to make plays now that he has other playmakers around him. It's his responsibility to get them the ball and give them good passes. If he can't do it, it's going to be on him, and it's not going to be on the receivers.
For sure. Jake?
No, I just agree with Zach because now he has – you're welcome. DeAndre Hopkins and Larry Fitzgerald. I don't know which one's going to be wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2, but even looking past them, they have a solid wide receiver 3 in Christian Kirk. So with 3 reliable, arguably solid receivers, it's now Kyler Murray's job to step up and lead the team with the tools that he has.
I also think if I'm Deshaun Watson right now, who was very tight with DeAndre Hopkins, I think you leave next year or you sit out the season. You don't let Bill O'Brien run the offense like this. He doesn't have a receiver. They don't have a solid running back. If you're going to call David Johnson a solid running back, I mean, that's fine, but I personally don't believe he is. The defense is whatever. They already lost to Jadeveon Clowney last year. Who knows if J.J. Watt's going to be the same. I'm just disappointed in what happened in Houston. Michael Irvin went on Get Up a few days ago, which is a show on ESPN, the morning show, and he said that he spoke with DeAndre Hopkins, and DeAndre Hopkins basically said to him, Coach Bill, he came to me, he was like, now I need to have a meeting with you. The last time I had to have a meeting like this was with Aaron Hernandez. So clearly the relationship between DeAndre Hopkins and Bill O'Brien, I guess, wasn't the best. But then DeAndre Hopkins was like, even though that happened, I still have the utmost respect for Coach. And, I'm personally confused about the situation, but I'm excited to see what he's going to end up doing in Arizona after all.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, even if that did have an impact on the trade, it's still a terrible trade because you lost arguably the best receiver in the league right now, maybe behind Michael Thomas, but you could have still gotten a lot more for him.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah. David Johnson and a 4th-round pick and a 6th-rounder, something like that. Next year, it was an awful trade. Like, if you're going to trade away DeAndre Hopkins,
Lamar Miller. Yeah.
Who cares if he's 30 years old? Better. Who cares if he's 30 years old? Larry Fitzgerald is jumping 3 feet in the air and like it's nothing, and he's 40 years old. DeAndre Hopkins, I think, is one of those players you can obviously see as a generational talent. People may argue that having a receiver on a team doesn't make the most difference because of the quarterback. They control the offense, and they create the plays. But I think if you have a top receiver like that, you take the chance you can get it, especially DeAndre Hopkins or a player like that of his stature.